Oh, I gotta upgrade my plan. Oh no. There's Tori. What up, man?
Hey, what's going on with
Man, just realizing that I have to upgrade my plan.
you? Oh, okay.
Um, but I still want to rap with everybody. Um, I sent out some notes to Mo. He should be here in just a second. But we got a few little things to talk about. What's going on with y'all?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Just sitting here wrapping up some work too. So I know how it
Mhm.
go.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
just trying to stay active over my lunch break, so you caught me in the middle of my cardio session.
that's okay.
And
We're going to talk
I'm
about a
trying
whole
not
bunch of
to,
stuff.
I'm trying not to run too hard to where I can carry a conversation. So,
Well, I want you to be a part of the conversation because one of the things that I had scheduled today in this block was to do like a mental health check. My boy Mo, he's all about it. He's really strong with it. So, Mike, I'm gonna ask you: do you have anybody that you reach out to, check on, or rely on for something like that in your life, like as a man?
Brian, I'm sorry, buddy, you're breaking up quite a bit. But
I was talking about mental health checks. Can you hear me?
yeah, definitely. You and I do that regularly, almost daily.
Right. And me and a lot of my friends. That's what we do. We check in on each other, and I just wanted to really talk about how strong that is. I don't know if it was military guys that really started it or what, but that's something that I can definitely make a testament to that's effective and productive because that's real conversations that you have that lead to something good in your day. Just being able to sharpen your iron with the bro every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're correct, bro. I think I would agree 100%.
Absolutely. Is that something that you have someone that you kind of rely on or use to have those check-ins with?
Besides you,
Yeah.
no.
It's not for everybody, right? It's not all of our friends that you can do those with, and it works both ways. Like,
Well, I
but
mean, I think it depends on maybe the context, because you can't
mhm,
you can't go to your friend with everything, just like you can't go to your wife or your mom with everything.
right. And it's just good to have that perspective. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
to me, I think that it's more productive than those other relationships, just because the way that we bond as men. I think that men want to see constructed, and when you have a genuine connection like that, it happens. I mean, I've seen it from corporations to children. Just that life being breathed into each other. So that was definitely something I wanted to kind of start in on um, and have Mo here for, but I think he's still coming. Um, I got a couple of these podcast shows popping off right now, so it's really good. But we started a project called the Big Homies. We got a whole new podcast. We're gonna get a whole website and all this crazy stuff. Um, I'm really excited for it, bro. We got to have you on there. You got to, definitely join us for episodes soon. We got all the social media popping. We got the Snapchat, the TikTok, Twitter, um, and I've been having these conversations with people on Twitter on Spaces. It's been crazy. You need to get on Twitter, Doug.
No, I'm cool.
I feel you. You don't use social media at all, or just specifically Twitter?
Well, specifically, things I refuse to use are um, Twitter and what's that other one?
Which one,
Uh,
Snapchat or TikTok?
TikTok. Like I refuse to use those two. Period. And as far as the rest of social media, like when it comes to like Instagram and Facebook, I literally just go in there to check messages.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah, I just it's a, I told you, but I've told you in the past how I mean, everything ain't good for everybody, even though it
Yeah,
might be good for though it might be good for business. It's not good for everybody,
I
and
agree.
social media ain't good. It ain't good for me. So
See, I don't use Twitter. I went from not using Twitter at all to jumping back into that, and then TikTok. I think that's interesting because I want to, if you don't mind me asking, man, I want to know your reason for not using it because I've heard things. You want me to tell you what I've heard about TikTok and why people say they shouldn't use it?
well, which one do you want first? Would you prefer me to tell you, or you want to tell me? I don't know. I mean, I don't mind
I want you
answering
to
the
tell
question.
me.
It's not a problem. It's not. Well, to be really specific, I've kind of seen that TikTok makes a makes it a point to silence Christians. So
Hmm.
yeah, I refuse to be. I'm not going to help them make any money if they don't want to, help the kingdom progress. So
Right,
I can see you got to pick a side, right? It seems like they picked a side. So all right,
right.
it's not a problem. And in reference to what's the other one? Twitter.
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, it's. I feel like Dave Chappelle. Like it's not a real world. Though those that are
Hmm.
constantly on it actually think it is. Like people are they just be too mouthy on Twitter, and I'd rather not be a part of nothing like that.
I kind of agree with you. That's what I'm getting into. Um, I had a good argumentation with this guy yesterday. This one kid, he wanted to say that he was a feminist, and he had no logic behind it. It's kind of that Twitter effect that you're talking about, how people live in these la la lanes, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think the huge problem with people like that is like they confuse their definitions.
Yep,
So
yep.
they get they get the word feminist confused with feminism, as if it's the same. It's not the same concept. You know what I'm
And it's
saying?
it's
Or
Twitter appropriate because people don't have any
yeah,
context. It's only 100 and something characters, and people like to say the taglines, but they don't have the
yeah,
substance. They love to tell you
right.
the cover, the story, title, but they've never read the page of the book. So I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what you're saying. But TikTok, that's China. They don't believe in any gods, so that's why they really, stagnate that kind of press on their media. But I agree with you, bro. Like I feel you. But that's a cultural
My whole thing
appropriation.
is if it's a business for social gathering, right?
Hmm.
If that's the whole goal, then I think I mean me personally as the business, I couldn't even understand how you even care what's being put out as long as it's not hate speech or something like that. And even when even if it's hate speech, then back to those definitions again. You know what I'm saying? Like what's considered hate speech, right? Like I mean I'm just saying as the company itself, it shouldn't even bother with ideology and how that affects what
Yeah,
they. I mean, I just think ideology shouldn't be a part of how a business makes money.
I agree so much. That's my beef with Facebook, and that's why I've gone to these other medias. Um, I told you I got banned from Facebook for talking about more or less male themes. Um, I straight up got banned, and they didn't do any research. It was a wrong decision, which is fine. But my point is, it's becoming dangerous because the cancel culture. That's all that Facebook empowers is those people that want to gripe or complain because Facebook has to protect themselves from real world damage that they've done. It's ethnic cleansing in Ethiopia, Myanmar, elections in Europe, obviously elections in the United States. That Facebook is responsible for providing misinformation and instead of, I don't know, allowing the market to find its own solution, allowing people to evolve naturally, we have this interesting kink of Facebook. So I have a question for you, gentlemen. Do you think that the world, the metaverse, or whatever you want to call it, the Facebook effect
I don't know if we should even wear. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, little bro. I love you. I'm sorry. Come on, like, let's not talk about fake stuff. Like, I could care less about the metaverse, yo. That's them doing them. Why we gotta talk about stuff that ain't got nothing? I mean, I can't affect my brother's life in an unreal world.
That's what I'm asking. You don't think that there's real world implications from Facebook? So you're saying that?
I think the only real world implication is the lack thereof.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think I get what you're saying, because that's what they're saying Facebook's responsible for, right?
Well, not just them. All of them are. All of them are.
All social media.
All of them are. I mean, okay. I mean from top to bottom, even whether it's secular or whether it's Christian, it has done more harm than good when it comes to how people deal with one another.
Yeah, because you have media through your friends instead of this source that was never legitimate to begin with, but it was legitimized as an institution, right? We used to trust the media. So yeah, I agree with you. But I don't think there's anything that's going to change that. I think social media is only going to get bigger. And that's kind of why I posed that question. Why are we unable to do anything about it? We know it's going to go in a dangerous direction. I do.
Well, we're not going to be able to do nothing about it because it has become a human norm rather than just an American norm.
Absolutely,
it's a human norm to look for your phone every 5 seconds for no apparent reason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm one of the people who likes to pride myself on not using my phone all that much, but I still find myself. You know what I mean? Because what I'll do to keep myself from using my phone, I'll give it to my daughter. So Jazzy had a phone most of the day, watching Coco Melon or something. And the whole time you'll see me pat my pants or something, just looking for the phone. And I have no use for it. Or I have every use for it. So today's day, anybody might say, if they really think about it, they have every use for their phone. Right? Because every thought that they have, they can research right now. Yeah. So a person I want to go to, let's just say I was just thinking about a tool that I want to buy. The first thing that pops in my mind is, let me go on to HomeDepot.com. But I can't because she got my phone. So now you see that now to make me kind of pace for a little while. Yeah. Because I got to get myself back to where I was going. But 20 years ago, you just go next door. You know what I'm saying? Just go next door. you know, one of your neighbors got that tool. You just go next door. Hey, can I borrow? Can I? You know what I'm saying? They don't do that no more.
No, not at all. And it's that's part of the bigger point I was trying to make about this whole Facebook effect. We're disconnected. We've lost our humanization because socializing has changed. Yeah. Instead of having to be in the presence, look at somebody's eyes, smell their breath, their house, you know what I mean? Really be immersed in their environment. Our big thing is the metaverse or social media and all these synthetic outlets.
Right.
So yeah, we're evolving into machines. We're turning into androids. I forget what they call it, but the satisfaction and dopamine released in the brain from likes and interacting with other people is that addiction. That loop or that cycle is what you chase. And it's a part of our lives because you are a guy who's not on his phone. I think I've even had times where I think I was a guy that wasn't attached to the phone. But once you start trading stocks, texting people, getting on social media, buying and purchase, like we do everything through our phones. So right. I mean, if it's not the phone, what do you think could be next? Something like I just saw a clap.
My bad. I'm trying to coach without saying stuff.
But no, man, it's just a natural evolution, and I mean, I'm weirded out at how attached I am to my phone and social media and everything else, but it's gonna get worse. What is that gonna be? Is it gonna be a visual element? Is it again the metaverse that I keep hinting at? Because I think that's as good as sold. I don't know how much you know about the metaverse, but it does seem particularly dangerous. Have you heard about this place?
I sure have.
So I don't know. I don't think people are prepared to indulge in something like that temporarily. I think this is going to become a real thing, a real addiction. Maybe it could be a positive thing. Instead of being addicted to opiates, middle America might find this as their drug of choice. I don't know, but I definitely feel like it's going to be a really big thing. And I want some money from it.
Well, go get the money.
Okay.
Go get the money. I don't know, man. I maybe I'm one of the people that, you know, I stay out of prison, but I don't mind, you know, investing in it.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
You sound like a Republican.
I mean, you call it what you want. I mean, I'm just thinking from a business standpoint. You know what I mean? If it's lucrative, it's lucrative. Me personally, but that's why I don't do a lot of business, because I don't want to, you know, shy away from my own testimony. You know what I'm saying? So, so I don't do a lot of investments, because when I really think about investing, I just be like, yeah, this is a good investment. It's a lot of dudes out there.
Exactly. It's a
So,
lot of cash. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I don't care what you talk about. If it comes to investing, that's a good investment. You know what I mean? You know, private businesses investing into, you know, the judicial system, so to speak. But I'm just saying that's one reason why I don't do a lot of anything socially these days, because everything's tainted at this point. Everything. It's hard to function these days.
It really is. You know what we're doing on the Big Homie Show as far as our theme for this week?
What's that?
Man, we've been talking about love making. And we took it to the internet and was getting a bunch of people to share with us, you know, just like good experiences and things like that. So in doing this topic all week, I've had a lot of conversations with women, and I think this is kind of an interesting topic that I want to talk about. Do you think that sex is only for men? Do you
Say that
think
one more time?
Yeah. Do you think sex is only for men? Do you think sex itself is misogynist?
Why would
or
I think that?
misogynistic? I'm asking the question. That's what I've uncovered this week, because women overwhelmingly suggest that sex is one-sided. And
You know why they say that?
Tell me.
Because they're selfish.
Ooh, okay.
When a person says that, just tell them you are selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You are. That's because your whole purpose in that whole moment was to get a nut. So you're selfish. Like, I don't understand. I mean, because if we started with making love, and then we went to sex. So I want to put a line down the middle. Okay. We're not talking about the same two. We're not talking about the same thing when we're talking about that. So let's start with.
I'll tell you the hashtag that we're using this week is bomb ass sex is the hashtag.
Okay. So wow. All right. All right. Well, yeah. Y'all had it. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm just saying, something like that should be the last thing on a person's mind if they're really trying to enjoy the I don't know how do
relationship or
you know I mean if you really enjoying a person, I mean, so matter of fact let me do this. In the Bible, it refers to as knowing. Knowing in Hebrew is experience.
Okay.
So if you're going to experience somebody wholeheartedly, how do you even think of yourself in that situation? If you're trying to experience a person, how do you think about you? Are you experiencing somebody else if you're thinking about you? I can't see how you can do both. I just don't. So let's take it.
Wait a minute. I want to break that down, and I want to unpack it. But continue. I'm sorry.
No.
So
I was just going to ask. Huh?
How can you enjoy someone else if you're only enjoying yourself? I just want to make sure I'm digesting this right.
If you're only attempting to be enjoyed, if you what's the word I'm looking for? To
get off.
You're trying to get enjoyment, but at the same time you're trying to experience somebody else. It's kind of hard to do.
This is a very human thing, though. We're not. You're right. It's a very human and selfish thing. And that's where it got me this week, because bomb ass sex. Everyone, especially women, this is where I think women are perverts. I don't want to go on a tangent, but follow me here. Women always make sex about the intimacy. They make it about the connection. They make it about everything that I think it isn't for us. And in doing all these surveys and having all these conversations, overwhelmingly, that's what I'm getting back from women is that men don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. It's just for men. Oh my. And then the women, men are useless now because I think women can get off with machines. Like women will say, I'd rather just pleasure myself and get it done in a short period of time because it takes so long with men, or men just don't satisfy. Like it bothers me how they respond, but it also gives me insight into how needy we can become to women because I have physical needs and I need my woman to meet them. And I hear all these negative responses that women are giving. And I think about how you can turn that around in a relationship, right? If it's my relationship, I'm going to make sure you have satisfaction so you enjoy this, yada, yada, yada. But overwhelmingly, women came back to me with those things.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that in the slightest. I don't get how it makes any sense to them, but when they're thinking about it on their own, though. You see what I'm saying? It's like how. Okay, so I guess let me make sure that the audience understand. I'm coming from a married perspective. Okay, so that's probably why you're not going to agree with me. Okay, but me and my wife in February we've been married for 15 years, and at 15 years you get to know a person.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You really get to know a person. And as a married couple, you're experiencing each other in every way possible, not just sex. So you know their likes, their dislikes. You guys say the same thing at the same time. She says what you're thinking. Everything that's funny to you is actually funny to her. That's called love. Matter of fact, I go a step further. That's called being in love. Like that's what that looks like.
Okay.
Okay. When you guys are obvious partners, people call y'all twins, or they say are y'all brother and sister because the way y'all act with each other. Is every marriage the same? No, but every marriage that the two are striving for perfection of the marriage itself, and you'll never get to it, but you're actually striving for it, just like you're striving for God's glory.
Mm-hmm.
You get better at it. You get really good at it. And the funny part about it, you're actually getting better at making love. So sex is always fun, and you're not thinking about you. Because the whole time, all you want to do is ensure that your baby get to brag about you for another 15 years. You see the difference? But you see, I haven't talked about myself this whole time.
Absolutely.
That's what
That's a servant's. That's a servant spirit, right? And that's where we should be. I'm just admittedly, and certainly not there in all things. But yes, you're right, and it's vastly, vastly different.
Yeah, well, that's why God instituted marriage. That was His purpose for doing that, so that it made sense. I mean, my marriage makes sense in the betterment of my community, right? I can attribute my relationship to how my street, how it looks throughout the week. You know what I mean? How my community is run, how my city is progressing. You know what I'm saying? How my state is pursuing financial goals. It all starts with two people making a decision between one another and God. It doesn't start with you saying, all right, well, I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing, and we'll figure it out in the middle. You guys know it just don't make sense like that. Now, if you're doing your thing and she's doing her thing, that's why sex is never good.
I like that. I like where you went with that. And I think that's so true. And that's, again, kind of what I've learned in these studies and surveys. It's not about a relationship. Sex is very transactional now. It's highly disposable. Yeah, I like where you came from, but our world is very worldly and fleshy.
Yeah.
So,
but my last point about it, I'll
Mm-hmm.
leave it alone after this. When I said good, right? if you pay attention to how good is used in the in the word, or if you pay attention to how it's used in the word, it's not how we use it, right?
Well,
Because she says, okay, for instance, what we talking about? They say that sex ain't good these days. Well,
in the Bible, when they say good, that means it's true to God, right? That's what good means.
no,
Accurate.
good, I mean, good just simply means, in step with God's plan, or
So
how
when
he
you talk
how he.
about sinning and you talk about busting someone off and doing everything naughty, you're exactly right, sir. It's that departure. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But let's talk about that intimacy being gone, if we want to call it that intimacy, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
I
Why?
mean,
How did we get here?
I should say not necessarily, because
Okay.
if you, I mean, if you were just going to pretend like intimacy has one definition, like people use, then we don't get the full experience of intimacy. But if we
Mm.
use intimacy in and using the definition that God would more than likely use, then
What would that definition be?
well, it starts with Him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, it starts with a man having a relationship with God, and then a woman having a relationship with God, and then him bringing them two together, and then bring them two bringing with each other. If they're walking in step with God and with one another, intimacy is. I mean, what is that movie? It was a movie I saw. I was dying laughing, but it was like I was like, I think he says, "Into me I see," or some crap like that, and I was like, how is it being intimate to just be looking into yourself? Right? But that's how he had broke it down. But I won't. I don't think I could make sense of how he made an acronym out of the word. But no, intimacy is a daily thing. It's an hourly thing. It's not just a moment. It's not just a specific time in a day. My wife is in Kuwait right now. But I'd
Mm-hmm.
be lying if I said that I haven't been intimate with her, and while she's gone. I mean, I still tell her my secrets of secrets, right? I'm my situations with her are more intimate, and I don't get to go in depth with. I talk to the world about them. You see the
Mm-hmm.
difference?
Mm-hmm.
There's no intimacy with say
Only
me
fans.
and me and my neighbor across the street, because when I talk to her, I mean, I make sure I'm in the middle of the street so everybody can see me, right? So they can't say I
Mm-hmm.
was in her house. They see me on the street, so it's nothing intimate about it.
That's true. That's true. I think it's been a good convo, man. I had a few areas that I wanted to talk about in the show today. We talked about our hashtag bomb ass sex. We did our mental health check. My boy Mo hasn't joined us yet. I don't know if I should make a part two, or if you want to talk about what's going on in the news.
What's going on in the news? What's going on in the news? Nothing good. It's not a lot going on in the news. I mean, I'll say this about the media. It has a designation as a separate part of the government at this point. I mean, if you're paying any attention, it always has been. You know what I mean? But that's what propaganda is. I say to the average man that if you look at every situation by yourself and you use more than one source to listen to how that situation plays out, you might get a better synopsis of what the world looks like. But for me, I don't know. I stay out of the cesspool, I should say.
I know, and I keep a lot of the stories. I respect how you respond to a lot of stories because they're trash. Just like I do want to hear your take on one story. Did you hear about the black couple? I think they were in California, like Simi Valley or something. Their house was appraised at one number when they had their pictures up. This is a black family. What they did was they took all evidence of them out of the house and replaced themselves with their white friends. The appraisal came back at $500,000 higher.
Okay.
I just think that's gold. I think that that's how life really is. And I think that's the best way you can shade it appropriately to bring the advantage back home. It's silly, it's absurd, but it shows the inequity in all the systems in America, specifically with housing.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm positive that this happened.
Are you sure beyond a shadow of a doubt it happened exactly where they said it happened?
Yes, I that it was documented accordingly too. Yes.
Okay. So I'm skeptical. I'll be honest with you. I'm skeptical. I mean, but I you know me. I'm a skeptic. That's usually how I would approach every situation. Because hey, I'm sorry, you guys. The baby tried to eat a seed. But as long as I mean, what I try to do is make sure I don't go anything with any emotion. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem with us as a people is because we everything we hear we address
emotionally.
Well, not just emotionally, but from a victim standpoint. Yeah, I mean, have I experienced racism? Couldn't tell you. Is it around? I'm sure it is. Is it affecting my household? No, it's not. You know what I mean? So I can't look at everything through that lens because it's not truly affecting my life. But I'm not foolish enough to think it never existed. No, it's not. But I've seen and heard of studies done, in more than one state, you know, dealing with individuals, 17 to 25, when they're questioned about these things, when nobody else is around, no cameras around, they normally answer truthfully, like it's not affecting me. No, I believe it's real. I believe it's happening, but no, it's not. It's not something that's going on in my life. That's normally what I hear in these polls. But I mean, like I said, I can look at everything from a skeptical standpoint. But what I always try to do is I look at it from a spiritual standpoint next, because I want to know why this is even in my airway, or why is this even happening right now. Is it supposed to be a block and I'm supposed to find out whether or not I'm supposed to stop at it and look? Or is it something I'm supposed to just scroll through? Like, what was that? Just the other day, I was getting on my computer and MSN, I guess it's what's it called? The
MSNBC?
No, MSN. It's like the
Hotmail.
What's the thing called? It's the
News ticker?
Stop, man. You're getting further away. It's like the screensaver on my computer when I turn the internet on. When I go into the internet, that's the first screen. It's a home screen. That's what it's called, home screen. And anyway, they show news feeds as well. And one of the top stories was why Charles Barkley named his daughter what he named her. Like, that's news today? Come on, man. At some point we have to realize that we're being conditioned to stay out of something else. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, my mom used to always say that the reason why they talk about this is because they don't want you to talk about the war that's going on. When I was in high school, they didn't want you to be thinking about the war, so they start talking about a bunch of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if I look at it, even a bigger, a broader standpoint, it comes to the point where it's more of a spiritual thing. And the question is, what am I trying? What is Satan trying to get me to miss or ignore, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, I don't look at things like the average black dude, simply because it's not wise. it's not. It's not wise. It might make sense, but it's not wise.
I agree. Um, and I think that that's what we need is a richer marketplace. People need to have diverse thoughts and perspectives, and you bring that. With that being said, um, I'm going to see you later on my other person Christian podcast. I'm going to try to make some time tonight. Hopefully, we can make that happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'll
man.
hit you. I'll send you that link. And you got any projects, anything you want to drop before we break?
Yeah. I just want to make sure local area knows DC, Virginia, Maryland. If
The
y'all,
DMV.
yeah, the whole DMV. I just want to make sure everybody's aware that I am taking clients throughout the month of December. Obviously, I might not work on the day of Christmas unless the number is right. So feel free to reach out to me at lastingremedies@gmail.com or follow me on Lasting Remedies at Instagram, and you can also find me on Google at Lasting Remedies, or you can just Google something simple like mobile massages near me. I'm more than likely going to pop up. You guys have a blessed day.
And don't forget, it's Lasting Remedies on IG at Gmail. He's one of the best in the DMV.
I'm the best.
If the price is right, he can work it out for you. Please be sure to make sure that you follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, SoundCloud, IG, and Facebook. I am at Chubby Idris Elba. And until the next episode, peace.